Okay, I've prepared for you a very basic introduction to selections in AutoCAD. Yeah, we'll start off with the most basic stuff and then move on to a lot of preferences and techniques I guess I've developed over the years. We'll finish off by just glancing over the variables related to AutoCAD selections. But yeah, starting off with the most basic thing you can do is click something. As you can see there, I just clicked that red X block I created just for my YouTube thumb. But yeah, you can just select objects by clicking them. I'll jump ahead and mention that you can press the Shift key and unselect objects. I'll get more into that in just a little bit. Okay, going one step further, if you click the screen not on an object, if I go to the right, and just clicking, not holding, if I go to the right, I get this blue rectangle. If I go to the left, I get a green rectangle with a dotted line. Now, the difference between these is that if I have the right crossing behavior, anything that actually gets selected has to be entirely within the boundary. So for example, only these three blocks got selected because those were the only three things entirely within the boundary. Compare that to going to the left. Only stuff touching the window, even just a little bit, will get selected. Now, if I click and hold, I get the lasso behavior. And same applies. You might be noticing that if you click, you get options down here. I think these are like more legacy related. They still work just fine. But I just think the clicking behavior is way faster, but that's something you can test out if you really want. But yeah, what I do is just click and release for your rectangles, click and hold for your lassos. Now sometimes, like let's say your cursor's over here, and for whatever reason you want to select just this square. Just keep in mind that those lassos, whichever direction you go first, dictates the behavior. So if you go to the right and double back, then you can get that behavior where only stuff inside the border gets selected. So if I go right and then double back, I get the blue version. Same with over here. If I don't want this style, if I go left, double back, I get the green style. Okay, so I think I covered the shift to unselect objects, but I'll just show you that everything we did with the crossing windows. So I'll just select everything. The crossing window, if I hold the Shift key, I think I got to hold the Shift key before clicking. It'll unselect stuff. I think if I click, then hold the Shift key, it won't work. Yeah. So Shift key first and then click, and it'll unselect. And same applies. If I do the right crossing window, anything I unselect will have to be fully within the boundary. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is hard to show because a lot of it's muscle memory, so I can't even remember if and when I'm hitting that Shift key. But yeah, so Shift first. And that's how you unselect stuff. So it makes it really easy to grab just objects that are just nestled way in there, right? Or unselect these if you wanted. Okay, so that covers the very basics, and now I want to get into, I wouldn't say more advanced stuff, just stuff you won't use quite as often. So I'll start off with Quick Select. So I have my Properties window open, so the QSelect command, it might be QS for short. Actually, I'm not sure. But yeah, the command's called Quick Select, but since I have my Properties open, I just click right here. Now you can do this with a pre-selection, but if I just click here, I can select the objects I want. I can either do multiple object types, like if I wanted to select all objects regardless of their type on a certain layer, but we'll do hatches, and all the objects' properties appear, including properties that are only associated with that object type. In this case, pattern name is something you'll only find with hatches, I believe. And we'll do solid, include a new selection set. So that only selected the two hatches. We can do it with blocks, lines. And I almost forgot, I was also going to show you filter. Now, to be honest, I don't even know how to use this, but I do know that if you don't like how quick select works, I think this is just a more advanced but maybe slower version of that. And it's almost like a hidden and maybe even a legacy command, but this is something you can look up if quick select's not working for you. But for me, quick select works so good and it's so quick that I've never used filter before, but I just wanted to let you know that it does exist. Okay, so there is a command called select similar. I guess this isn't directly related to selections. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But when you do select similar, I'll select one of these blocks. My alias for this is S. Now it selects all those blocks. So if I wanted to delete them or copy them or whatever, how about all these lines? If I could do the same thing with the lines. You can select more than one object type and it'll select all similar objects to both those object types, or even if you had like more than two, obviously that would still work. So that's just a good fast way to manage your selections. Now select similar is weird in that to get to the settings you have to run select similar without anything selected. Keep that in mind. And then if you want select similar to ignore certain properties, they're just going to be here, and that's about all the options you get with this. So it's not infinitely versatile, but it is incredibly useful. That's something I use quite often. Okay, selection cycling. This is another one of those muscle memory things where I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just doing it for so long, but I'm very old school and manual. So I use shift and spacebar. So I have three lines overlapping each other. I'll actually copy it and I'll move them one by one just to show you. I guess one line and two polylines. But yeah, I'll just show you that if you want to select either one of these, the old-fashioned way was shift and spacebar. That unfortunately, oh yeah, it actually does work with let's see. As I was prepping the video, I thought that wouldn't work, but it does work. So I'll just cross that out. Now, sometimes it's usually going to work. I'll say like maybe 95% of the time it's going to work for you, but if you're having trouble, one thing you can actually do is use the hide isolate. And also the draw order. Like if this is drawn in the front, it's going to be selected first by default. If it's drawn in the back, same goes for any object. You're going to be able to select the one at the front of the draw order more easily. So that's one way to handle that. And now this is the newer way, is to have your selection cycling enabled. So I have it disabled and hidden because I never use it, but this will come up. And this, yeah, it works really well. I just don't like it. So I disable it, hide it, and then just use shift spacebar. And when I'm desperate, I just use the draw order, and when I'm very desperate, I use the hide isolate. Okay, so we got that sorted. I guess I kind of covered that. If you're wondering how hide isolate works, they are commands. You can type them at the command line, but I just do that. Then right click, and object isolation. Okay, so we're almost done here. I just want to go over some of the variables. The pick first is one where, like, let's say you want to run a command, like I'm just going to copy these. So I'd hit copy and I expect my selection set to stay active. This, I think it was more a problem with older versions of AutoCAD, would get flipped to 0 from its default of 1, and it would unselect objects when you ran a command, and that was super annoying. I don't know what caused it, but if you're having issues like that, that's your first culprit. A lot of these others, I generated this with AI just to let you know, so don't pay too much attention to the settings it's showing you. Just know that these exist. What I've written here is a note that the only reason you want to mess with these is if you don't like the default behavior, and maybe you like the old school methods of selecting objects, these variables would be your key for achieving that. But yeah, I'll just take my time here just so I can hover. I know these are pixelated a little bit, but at least as long as you can read them, that's kind of my goal. So aperture, I'm going to cover that in the next video. Yeah, my selection preview was turned off for some reason. I don't know why. That's what kind of helps you see things, especially when you're trying to select one object on top of another. If it doesn't highlight, then you can't really see it, right? So sometimes when you run commands, I try not to do it with my custom list commands. I'm very careful about that, but a lot of commands will throw variables all sideways on you. So it's good to know these exist. If you're not getting the behavior in AutoCAD that you want, and that's my whole reason for showing all this stuff in these videos, oftentimes there's a variable for that, and you can do a Google search to find out why your AutoCAD's not quite behaving how you want it to. It's a very customizable program, and I highly recommend, yeah, if something's not working too good, then just do a search. Even this video, I invite any questions and stuff because there might be a way to kind of fix the behavior you don't like. Okay, so that's about a wrap for this video. I got to start preparing for my next one, which is AutoCAD object snapping, which is kind of related to this, right? They go hand in hand. So I'll just say thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one.